There are tons of things that your pals can do in Palworld 1.0. And in this video today, I want to talk about some of my top base and farming pals in the early game. What am I classifying as early game? Pretty much anything from level 1 to 30 that is easily accessible to someone that is brand new to the game. So let's go ahead and in my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge my videos, let's go through what those pals look like. So this first list here is all the pals that will produce something for being in a farm as like their active job. So for example, here Bee Guard gives you honey, which is really good for cakes, which is really good for breeding later on. Or Lamb Ball, Cremis, and Alpaca are all great for wool production. Serpent is good for leather. All this is new with 1.0, so or at least it's partially new with 1.0, so it's worth bringing up first. And then over here you have all of the pals that are going to produce some form of gland, fluid, or, well, organ. And then in this list, you have all the pals that give some sort of base aura. So simply by having them in the base, they'll give some sort of benefit. Take this one, for example, here, which is going to increase the lumbering work suitability level for all other base pals by 1. So this is my too long didn't watch the entire video. This is all you wanted to know. Feel free to go ahead and shut the video down. I want to be respectful of your time. But let's break down now why some of these pals are so good for your base in Palworld 1.0. And really, we're going to be hanging out on this screen for the majority of the videos. It's not too exciting. But right here, we have our farming pals. And I think this was what I was originally going to do the video on, but then I spiraled out of control and did the other portion as well. So in the top row here, we have wool. Wool is a really high production value item for you. You're going to use it in the very beginning to make cloth, and then you're going to use it for high quality cloth, and then further down the road. And you're just going to use it for those first 40 or so levels. Having someone out there that's going to produce lots of wool for you just gets that cloth easily produced, so you just don't have to worry about it. Cremis is a really nice early one. Lamb Ball is like the first one you get, so it's really easy to tap into this one. Alpaca is a little bit further into the island, but still pretty accessible. Now another one too is Mozzarella here, which is reference to mozzarella, which is going to give you access to milk. Again, is going to help you with cooking a lot of different food. There is a further application for milk, and I'm not sure 100% what it is. If you do, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Another really big one that is in that same purview of making food is Bee Guard. This is probably the one that a lot of people would say is the standout best one in the list, because honey production is absolutely necessary for producing cake. Cake is going to allow you to use your breeding farm so that you can breed your pals together. So this one is really a standout one. And also it's worth noting that the Bee Guard has just tons of good skills: planting, handiwork, lumbering, medicine production, transporting, farming, and gathering. So this is a really great just general worker at the base as well. It's a worker bee, right? So it's kind of intended to be that way. So as long as you put this in a ranch, you'll get some honey. Now, Serpent is another one of my real favorite pals of late, because in addition to this being really good for fishing, which I did a whole video on, linked in the upper right hand corner, it's a water pal, so it won't drain stamina when you go into the ocean when you're riding it. Awesome. But it gives us leather. This is now the only way to get leather from the ranch early in the game, aside from one other one. And it's a huge boon because you will use leather throughout a lot of that early tech, and through the first like 40 some odd levels, something requires leather in excess, especially as we take a look at any of the harnesses or any of the PAL gear. Lots of it requires leather, and it can be a pain in the ass to just simply go and buy. Putting this into your ranch is really nice. Again, it's got watering too, which is pretty cool. Now, Vixie is the other pet I was talking about, because Vixie says sometimes digs up items from the ground when assigned to the ranch. Now, what are those items? It's going to give you pal spheres. It's going to give you gold coins, both of which, those are great. I mean, there's a reason I have got 424 pal spheres. It's because I had Vixie in my base for so long. And in addition to that, oops, one more page. In addition to that, Vixie is also going to give you bones. Bones are a little bit more of a challenge to get in the early game. When I mean like first 10 levels. But as you progress into 20 and 30, you'll be able to tap into wood a little bit easier. Vixie helps you with that a ton, and also just produces a lot of other miscellaneous random items. I think leather's also in that list. I had her and a number of other creatures in my ranch, so I lost track of exactly what she produces. But very good one. And it's just right there in the beginning as well. So you can get this really early and online fast to just at least help out with your pal sphere production at the very minimum. The other one that helps out though with bones is Cognito here. Cognito spawns at night, and it's not necessarily right in the beginning portion of the game. You'd have to go, I don't like to show the map because you'd have to go kind of a little bit more over here or over into this region, which is still all very early. This is all still like very low level. So you'd go, if you start over here, you'd go up, over, and to the left, and there you go. But you'll go, the quest will bring you around this area. You'll be fine. If you randomize your starting location, you might actually start right next to this. So it's why I say it's still a very starter friendly pet. And pet, damn it, pal, I gotta fix that, man. I say pet all the time in these damn videos. Cool. So this one, again, recently got its bone added in for the ranch. Accessible to bone is really good because, again, you'll be using tons of bone. Now, the other one here is chickpea. Egg fits in with honey. You need eggs to produce cake. And this is one of the very first pets you get, right? With the lamb and with the cat. So getting the chicken online just for the egg production is absolutely huge. So you don't need to use this immediately. And you have to, and so one thing to notice here is honey does not degrade, but milk and eggs do. So don't preemptively build up your egg and milk supply unless you really have a way to maintain your cooler properly and make sure that you're really maintaining all that action. Don't worry about it, but you're just going to want to use these as you get later into that early portion of the game. Now, another really big one here, the fact that he is like literally really big, is Demud, because he's going to give you high quality pal oil, which you'll start to use as you traverse into any of the ore based items in that early game portion, especially as you jump after that. High quality pal oil is going to be in wide use. So getting this one is going to be really nice. You can get a gold one. It's a little bit further into the game, but this one gives you high quality pal oil and gold coins. It's over level 30 and it's in the kind of like next region. So that's why I didn't really want to focus on it, but it's here. Just wanted to bring it up. The last one though, on like just kind of general good items to get in your ranch is Woolly Pop for cotton candy. So cotton candy is going to help you with some of your recovery medication. And I'm going to show you both the cake and the recovery medication real quick. But there's an additional thing here. It's why Woolly Pop is on 2 different lists. While at base, reduces hunger depletion rate of base pals by -10%. So it does not stack, so you can't have like a bunch of these and stack it further. But you'll see that this text is in blue. If you were to upgrade these stars up here in the upper left, this will then go up. I can't remember the rate at which things go up once you upgrade their stars. Or if you were to find a lucky one of these, this lucky ones naturally have one of these stars already filled in. So upgrading a Woolly Pop would reduce the hunger depletion rate of your entire base. And that is really key. And keep that in mind. We're going to talk about it more when we get to the next section. This is for cotton candy and this is for base pals. They kind of overlap. So jumping over here to the medieval medicine workbench, which is what you're going to get in the beginning of the game, right? This has cotton candy for recovery meds. This is the early heal over time health potion, as it were, quote unquote. As you get into the game and unlock more of the medicine versions of this, there's the assembly lines and what have you, you'll need cotton candy, and that's why we'd use it. And as we talked about too with cake requires milk, eggs, and honey. So that is the big focus here for cake. You can also now get mushroom cake, which can replace, as you can see, we have red berries, milk, egg, honey. This is, mushroom, cavern mushroom, egg, honey. So it replaces your milk with mushrooms instead. So you do have those 2 alternatives. So just wanted to show these 2 items here before jumping back into our pals. Now the pals in the ranch that grant us organs or other things that are kind of in the same purview are Sparkit, which is a real early pal. This gives you electric organs. Real great utility here. Also, it's one of your first generating electricity pals next to the Jolt Hog. So you'll need this as you traverse into that. I would say the beginning of the mid game is when you start to need generating electricity pals. But electric organs you will need to produce any of those items. So having it is going to be crucial. You will use so much aquatic pal fluid for so many different things that you need to have a kelp sea. aquatic pal fluids online, very easy. The surfent and the kelp seed can both be fished up in the very early starting cove area right outside of where you begin the game. And aquatic pal fluids, like I said, you're just going to use them for everything, for cryogenic, whatever the hell it's called, for cement, for so many different things in this game. The kelp seed ignis is going to be flame organs. Now, this is not necessarily a beginner pal. You'll get this right towards the beginning of the middle of the game, the mid game, but you can use Flambell, which is a beginner one, Ruby, which is a beginner one. Both of these are going to drop flame organs when they're assigned to your ranch. Flame organs are going to be used for almost anything that's going to provide some sort of light or furnaces, anything like that. So flame organs you're going to want to have plenty of. Capriti, Knocked, the one that you find at night, this one will give you venom glands. So if you want to tap into venom glands, that's how you can do it. I have not found a ice gland pal from 1.0, and there has to be one. Wait, no, that's not right. I actually just finished recording the video, and then I went through my pals again and saw the Foxicle. So the Foxicle is a pal that is going to give you ice organ when assigned to ranch, and it's just simply in the northeast portion right above the starting area. It is a boss that is level 18, so it's a quick and easy one to get that should help you get your cooler online. But these are all of your organ, fluid, and gland pals in the very early game to help produce those in your ranch. Okay, now it's time for that base passive pal that we were talking about. And we've already talked about Woolly Pop, so let me just kind of hit this one more time. It's the hunger depletion here by minus 10%. Remember, upgrading this is going to increase that value right here in blue. Now, taking a look at Rabunny here, we have while at base, increase the handiwork suitability level for all other base pals by +1. So this is going to give us better handiwork across the entire base. So right now this says handiwork level 1. Let me just kind of show you exactly what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead and pop. I'm going to swap these two. So Mosanda here has handiwork 2. Let's go ahead and just swap these. Now Mosanda has handiwork 3. You can see it's got a little plus chevron there telling me that it is now up. Even the little chevron on the hand icon tells me that that is getting a benefit from something or another. So that's why we focus on pals like that. Like, hey, I really need help producing tons of items, building things, working on a research that's handiwork related, whatever you need for handiwork, you could pop this in to help scale that up across your entire base. Further, we have the Terra version of the reindeer, and this is going to help out with lumbering. One difference here. Rabunny is in yellow. From what I understand, yellow means that it will not scale up when you go up in the stars versus this is in blue. So this increases lumbering suitability for all other base pals by +1. If you put more stars into this, it will become +2, 3, 4 respectively, right? So you'd want to be able to scale this up as you get more stars into this if you need more lumbering. This is only for the pals that are in your base, not in your party. So just know that. Clovey here, another real early one here is gathering +1. Remember, that is now yellow, just so you keep that in mind. So this is going to help out with gathering. Gathering is different than transporting. Just remember that. Gathering is for farming. Transporting is just for moving miscellaneous items. Cinnamoth here is going to help out with farming. So this again is going to help out with any kind of farming you're doing with your pets. What does that mean? And this is why Cinnamoth is a really good one. If I were to put Cinnamoth into my party, or I'm sorry, into my base, and then put any one of these, it increases the yield because that little number right here, oops. This little number for farming is the amount that they are going to yield when they're in a ranch. So this helps you to get more out of them being assigned to ranches. So, hey, that B-Guard had a 3. Well, with Cinnamoth, it's got a 4, and that's going to help increase my honey yield. So if you're trying to get items quickly, like, you know what, I got to build this one thing. I'm just going to put this thing in a ranch, and I need it to produce for me. Well, might as well put the Cinnamoth out to help it produce faster for you. And that's all of them. Now, the last two are interesting. Gelroy and Gillette, just like in my fishing video, have like a symbiotic relation, not a symbiotic relationship. They work in tandem. Symbiotic is not, that's not how that works. They have a synergy, if I'm going to use a corporate shit word. While Gillette and Gelroy are in your base, Gelroy's watering speed increases by 50%. Gelroy has watering level 2. And for Gillette, while Gillette and Gelroy are in your base, Gillette's watering speed increases by 50%. So how you would use these two, if you want to think of it effectively, is they don't really have great skills, right? They just have, Gelroy has handiwork, medicine, transporting, and then watering 2, versus Gillette has handiwork, transporting, watering 2. So you'd use this in the sense that you would take them, put them both in your base, and they would be the source that waters all of your watering needs, right? So all of your farms, all of your hydroponic levels, production items, whatever needs watering, they can at least do it 50% faster than anyone else if they're working in tandem. I am lucky here that my Gillette has remarkable craftsmanship, which helps out with that work speed. So this further increases the whole situation. So you would use these two in tandem. Like, for example, right now, my watering pets are, I think Pen King is my watering one right now. Where's my, and Turtackle Terra. Oh, and her. No. He's not doing watering. Oh, it's Surfin. Surfin's my other big one. He's, I think, bound over to a mine. Surfant and Turtackle both have 2 and then 3 watering. Well, I could probably swap both of them out if I want them to exclusively water, and they would get way more done than 2 level 2s of the respective time, and they're really easy to get. All of these are just pretty much right in that very first island, the second island, or the one right next to it. And that's all within those first 30 levels. So this hopefully gives you an idea of pals you can use for your ranch, pals you can use for your base. I didn't cover work suitability specific pals. If you want that, let me know. I'll make my own video on it. The reason is it's such a dealer's choice situation, right? Like if I say, oh man, you need to get a Tansy because it can use so many different skills. Someone else might say, you know what, I actually just really like Daydream because it can work at night. You know, there's a lot of different things that are more subjective about best work suitability pals. But if you do want those, I can point out certain ones that are particularly good at like early ones that I have particularly high. Like, I mean, the Surfant's a really early water pet that you can just simply fish up. And it's got 3 watering, and boom, that takes care of your watering right there. So go ahead and let me know in the comment section below if you're looking for that specifically. Again, I feel like it's just very generic, and this is something I wanted to cover. It's all this information is pretty new to 1.0, and that's the big focus here. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. If you ended up enjoying this video, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. Each one of those things helps me out in a huge way. Also, don't forget to check out my Discord below. That way you can stay up to date whenever I go live, whenever I upload another video, and whenever I do content polls for the future of the channel. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.